We had a great fight the first time. Jorge was the best that we had seen thus far in September. The Jorge we'll see on Saturday night is that much better than the one we saw in September. And the reason I say that is he was coming off inactivity. He was coming off a broken hand. There was little obstacles. Sparring wasn't that easy to get. This time around, we have no inactivity, straight in. There's been no injuries. The hands have been perfect, physical, mentally. He's put it all together. The sparring's been much better. Training's been much better. So I do expect another level from Jorge. He knows Anthony as well as Anthony knows him. Mm-hmm. With Anthony, you have a fighter that has a lot of desire, a lot of will to win, a lot of conditioning. That's his strengths. And those are great strengths because that overpowers sometimes talent. How much more will, how much more condition, how much more strength can you obtain when you already have a top level of that? So don't expect too much more. Sure, they watch the videos, they see some mistakes, they'll correct those mistakes, and that's great because then at the end of the night, there can't be no excuses from either side. What I said is, don't be surprised if there is a knockout. He hurt him last time, but he had to pull back because he figured, did I hurt my hand? Did I break my hand? That was dwelling in his mind. That's not dwelling in his mind this time. If he does hurt him, he will go after it.
I mean, obviously Anthony Crolla, sorry. He's a really, he's a good fighter, he's a good boxer, he's got a good jab as well. Obviously you didn't underestimate him coming into the first time around, but the second time around now, what sort of Anthony Crolla are you expecting?
Well, he wants the titles back. He has that pressure. He's home. The fans are going to want him to perform. He wants it just as bad for him as he does for Manchester. So that's a lot of pressure sometimes. You know, when Jorge's fought in Venezuela, it's actually been tougher for him to fight home than it has been to fight outside in London or Manchester. So I do expect a hungry, a strong lion, but maybe one that deep down, maybe not saying it, inside, hidden, knows this could be my last shot. That's a lot of pressure too. Where Jorge's coming in with a mentality of, I'm not the champion going in to defend the title. I feel like a challenger because I'm in the backyard of my opponent again. It's almost like a repeat. So now I have to work harder to make sure these titles stay around my waist.
Manchester is an arena and the fans are really passionate, and I was really surprised how Jorge took to the fans, you know. Where does he get that mental strength from? Is it because he's a well-travelled fighter and he's fought all around the world?
That's a great question, and you know, you can only answer it come fight night when aftermath and see. I was in the ring. Obviously London helped. Kevin Mitchell's fans were loud. Not as loud as Manchester. And I told Jorge prior to the fight, get used to London because Manchester is going to be that much more. Mm-hmm. I learned through my years with Ricky Hatton how passionate, how great the fans and the support they have for their fighters, for their athletes, their sports heroes. And Anthony is that. He's a sports hero here in Manchester, rightfully so. I can say the hair on my neck stood when I heard that, oh, Anthony Crolla. And it was just like, wow, what a great atmosphere.
It's a local anthem.
I know, and they changed it. Yeah. Well, we changed it. Right. Now it's, oh, Jorge Linares. So, hey, when he walked into the ring and heard that, and after the fight, I said, hey, did it bother you at any time? He goes, no, I just put Jorge Linares in and made it my song. Right. That shows experience. It comes with time. It comes through falling and getting up. And one thing with Jorge, he's fallen to the lowest point, and people written him off, said he should retire, he had no chin, he wasn't going to be. He heard that, and what did he do? Turned it around, worked hard, got to where he's at. He doesn't want to go back there.
Right. Right. I mean, it's just a final one. I mean, you've been around the biggest fights made in boxing. How does, obviously, the crowd in America compare to the UK crowd? You alluded to say that it stands on the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. And the fans in America, they're more subdued, aren't they, compared to the fans in the UK? Why is that?
Absolutely. I mean, look, you go to Japan, and during the fight, you can't hear a pin drop. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, you could hear a pin drop.
And Germany as well.
And Germany, it's a cultural thing, and here, I mean, being from Mexico, being Mexican, and growing up in our heroes' there's a passion for Mexicans to watch Mexican fighters. They bring out something different. But the fans here, the support, it's unique. And I've said it once and once again, there's no fans like the fans from Manchester. The most important thing is to be in these big events, because at the end of the day, when everything's gone, when you're retired, that's what the fighters remember the most. That's what the fans remember the most. That's what we all remember the most. I wouldn't change anything in the world, but I was able to be at Ricky Hatton's fight when he fought Juan Lascano, be able a part of that at Man City Stadium. And to be in these events like that Eddie Hearn is putting on today, is one of the top promoters in Europe. Just grateful to be here.